fourth and final part of our college dorm tips, tricks series. If in case you've missed it, to like initiate before this season series, I posted a dorm tour, and then I did. This is the fourth part in a 4-part series, obviously, of it. What did it start with?
Tips, personal tips, roommate stuff.
And
dorm organization.
yes, so we did dorm organization, roommate, and dorm life, and then personal, like just individual persons. But because we are Liberty students, we decided to have a whole video dedicated to Liberty University, and then even farther, South Tower specific, because we need this info out there. So South Tower specific to just college and dorm stuff. So let's get it.
Yeah, so we are Liberty students. We live on South Tower. If you don't know what South Tower is, it is an all-female building at Liberty, and it is located on South Campus. So it's technically the furthest dorm from main campus, but we'll talk about that later. That, in our minds, is actually a plus. So yeah, and people make a big deal about being the only all-girl building, but it's really no different from like the Hill or the Circle or anything like that, because those buildings are also single gender. The only difference is there's not a guy version of South Tower.
Yeah.
That's it. But we have a brother dorm on the Circle.
Yeah, and it's also better because those two, because they have their technical brother dorm, their like common rooms and common areas are outside. And we're in Virginia, so it does get decently cold. Because we don't have any of that, we still have indoor common rooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we have dedicated laundry in our building, which other than Commons or East, you don't have that. So that's a major plus. And unlike Commons, our fire alarms don't go off at 3 a.m. every night. So, yeah.
If you're a girl, you should definitely consider South Tower. Also, it's just the more affordable option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
And if you're a guy, sorry, you lose.
Yeah, so South Tower is, I believe it's about $6,000 a year.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we can put like statistics.
I'll look it up and write down whatever the information is.
Yeah, but basically it's cheaper than Commons. You get bigger rooms than Commons. You only have one roommate, and the communal bathrooms are not bad. You don't have to worry about cleaning it. They're always clean. You're living with all girls, so unless you have like somebody really nasty on your hall, your space is pretty much always clean. Everybody's super friendly, super nice. I know South Tower gets a bad rap, but literally that's all stereotypes, and they're not true.
Yeah, so at least not on our floor. So yeah. Also, we've noticed, because we also have friends who live in Commons, Commons is definitely more cliquey. Like, yes, they all talk to each other, but like I feel like there's maybe like 4 girls total that we don't talk to on our hall. Yeah. We're actually like friends with everyone else, basically.
Yeah, and the 4 that we don't talk to is just because they're really busy. Like, it's not because we don't like them. Like, they're very nice people.
They're the ones not, like, they're keeping their door shut and not going out of their room.
Exactly, right.
But, like, everyone else, it's, like, open or unlocked doors, just in the hall, having fun and stuff. Yeah.
And on South, the halls are only about 30 girls, and so the community is really, really close. Commons, you have, like, 80... Commons and Circle, you have, like, 80 people on a hall. And so it's really hard to, like... Not really hard, but it's harder to
It's not even
build.
80 people on a hall. It's like 80 girls and 80 guys. Not ours, when we say hall, we mean our entire floor.
Mm-hmm.
Them, a hall is like just the girls' hall is like 80, so it's like 160 of them.
Yeah. So that's crazy trying to find like good friends. For us on our hall, we have about 10 freshmen, about probably like 10 to 15 sophomores, and then like the rest juniors and seniors. And so that made it really easy for us freshmen. We just formed one group, and there's like no cliques. We all meshed really, really well, and it's been great. And it's a really good way to like easily meet people and form a really close community like really fast.
Yeah, and if you're like honestly, I think we both were a little concerned because we're both the type that, like, have guy friends and stuff. And you're like, how am I supposed to hang out with them if I don't have a common room with them? Fun fact, they have common rooms. And fun fact, you can go to the same places on campus. Totally crazy, I know.
It's not a big deal at all. Don't worry about it. But yeah, if you can live on South Tower, you definitely should.
Yes. And if you're touring the school, ask to see South Tower.
Yes, because they will not include it on the tours, and we're making this video so that people know some more about South Tower.
Yes.
Because when we were looking into it, there's nothing anywhere. So, trying to provide some helpful tips. As for the walk, people will say it's really bad. It's not bad. It's only like 7 minutes to the dining hall, which when you're walking with friends provides a good opportunity to just catch up about each other's day.
Yes. And honestly, I love making a walk by myself too. Because if it's like during the day or something, I don't have any like safety concerns really. So I can like pop on AirPod and listen to music or no music and just spend that time with God too. It's so nice.
Yeah. The first one is going to be about South Tower, and that is going to be on where you pick your room. So we didn't have like a ton of options when we were picking our room because we got it a little bit later. But we wound up on the end of our hall, which is really nice. I think.
Like it.
It provides some separation from like the bathrooms, which are like kind of in the middle of the hall, and the common room, which is also in the middle of the hall. So, because those tend to be like noisier. So I think it's nice to be like separated from that a little bit. So if you're trying to sleep or study, you won't get distracted.
Yeah.
But with that, the rooms in South Tower are kind of weird. So they're like, how would you describe it? They're faced like
they're like in a V shape.
So like we're here and like the girls across from us are like here, and then we also have two across from us like this.
Yeah. So it's not like, because the other dorm is kind of like a hotel where it's just like door. Ours isn't like that. We have like little V shapes, if that makes sense. Bathroom side, because it says where the bathroom is. So if you're on the same side as the bathroom, you're facing the back of the building, and if you're on obviously the other side, you're facing campus, which facing campus is mainly just facing the parking lot. You can see a little bit of the quads and the circle, but even still, the reason we picked campus facing is because like sometimes I'll be like getting a ride from a friend and I can see when they're like pulling the car up and stuff, so I know when to head down.
But with all of that being said, there are pros and cons to either facing room, we've found out. So we wanted to share in case this is something that's like a deal breaker for you. So our room faces main campus. With that, we hear the car alarms that go off in the parking lot down there.
People yelling from their cars.
People talking, like the hangout space is right below our room and we can hear them talking.
But like if you're talking at normal volume, we'll see like mouth moving but we won't hear you.
Yeah.
But if you're like screaming, laughing with your friends, we can hear it.
Yeah. We also hear the band because they practice.
The band field's right there.
On the band field. If there's like a lacrosse game going on, we can hear the lacrosse game.
We're opposite the bathroom.
Yeah.
In case that's not clear.
And all that to say, like, sometimes it gets a little annoying, but it's not that bad. Just things to be aware of.
Yeah.
Now, the rooms that face the other parking lot, I would say they might be a little bit better. Because I've heard the only noise that they really get is the train. So that is something to be considered. It's really loud and it goes off frequent, like different hours of the day.
Yeah.
But it's only like once a day.
Okay, next. So obviously not mandatory thing, but for the most part, nicer dress overall is just part of the Liberty culture. If you look up any other like Liberty like dress code type deals, everyone says that, and it's kind of true. I feel like it's a little exaggerated. Like I felt like I'd have to be dressed up all the time. But like if it reaches like a certain point where most people are out of class, like if you're walking around in like sweats and a hoodie, like you literally don't look out of place because most people dress like get undressed from their class clothes. Because I feel like for the most part people dress nicer specifically for class because of the dress code. Dress code, I don't want to give any details on it because it kind of really is more enforced and directed by your like professor. And like I know that School of Business, if you fall under there, you have most of your classes there, they're stricter about how you dress because it has to be more like business professional. Also, I did hear that when you get into higher level divinity classes, they start to crack down on like modesty a little bit more with the dress code, because they do have things in place that for the most part aren't really followed because they aren't too big a deal. But when it comes down to like divinity, I've heard that they try to crack down a little bit more, but that's more when you're reaching higher level classes. And like there's simple things like don't wear shorts to class. Girls have it easier because you can just wear dresses and skirts instead, but for guys it's really not that bad. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, like I would say like you can wear like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that, but like that's all I wore in high school, and so I didn't really have a ton of like nicer clothes coming here. And then I realized really quick everybody dresses pretty nice. Like they don't wear suits every day, but like most people wear dresses or skirts. Yeah, she wears them like every day. So I would say like if you don't have like a nicer wardrobe, maybe try and get that on a budget, of course, but try and get some good essentials, because you will feel kind of out of place if you're wearing leggings and an oversized t-shirt. Like nobody does that here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is Liberty meal plans. This is something that I have quite a bit of experience with. So if you don't know, Liberty has two main residential meal plans. There's the basic plan and the plus plan. So I came in with the mindset that the basic plan is cheaper. I'm just going to get the basic. That'll be totally fine. I'll eat at the dining hall and the select locations. Like a month in,
Not even.
3 weeks in, I realized that it would be a lot better to get the plus plan if you can afford it. It's, I believe, $200 to $300 more, but here's the kicker. You can go to any of the dining locations across campus. So like the Einstein Bagels that's in the library, the Chick-fil-A that's on North Campus, like you can go to any of those. Whereas with the basic plan, you can really only go to the unhealthy ones. So there's like a pizza place, there is a burger place, and at North there's more options, but like you hardly ever go to North. So like unless you make the trip for it.
And it's not like at the select locations you get the same thing. It's like you get the most simple thing you can get. Like at the pizza place you can get either a slice of cheese or a slice of pepperoni.
Yeah. And so with that, like again, trying to be healthier, like you're not eating like home cooked meals anymore. You're eating what they have. And so I did not like eating so many unhealthy like foods. And like you have dining dollars, which you can use. You have 120 dining dollars that you can use towards food on campus, but that goes by really quick because each location it's about $10 for one meal. So if you're going with friends after convocation to Garbanzo, it's going to be $10 for your meal, and that's like 12 weeks that eats that up. So all that to say, go with the plus plan. I use it every day. I don't regret switching at all. I eat Einstein Bagels for breakfast like every day. What else? I mean, basically all of the places that you're going to want to eat are a plus plan. And having classes in Montview, you want food in Montview in between classes. So
yeah,
you can't go to the rot in between. It just doesn't
also
work.
If you take the cost of eating out with like the dining dollars, the plus plan like pays for itself.
Yeah, for sure. And you get extra dining dollars, I believe. So
that's if you switch. If you start off with the plus plan, you get the same amount of money. But if you do what she did, use some dining dollars, switched plans, then you get to reuse that. But there's really no point because like I basically only used my dining dollars at the grid, which I'll explain what that is later. But that's basically where I use all my money. Okay, next up, curfew and room checks. So curfew, I like to preface, neither of these things are that bad. So curfew, how it works is every weekday except for Wednesday, curfew is midnight. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, curfew is 12 a.m. midnight. Wednesdays, it's 10 p.m. I think a tiny piece of it might be just, it's in the middle of the week, get the rest you need. But it's also to encourage you to go to community groups, which Michaela will be explaining next. And then for the weekends, they give you a little bit of an extension. So on Friday and Saturday, curfew's 12:30.
I would say also with curfew, that doesn't mean like you have to be asleep in your room.
No,
like
it means technically for like other places, it's you have to be in your room, but really it's you have to be on your hall or on your floor.
Yeah.
But
in South Tower, again, it's nice because it's all girls. You only have to be on your floor, so you can still be in the common room. You can be like doing whatever.
In the commons, it depends on your RAs. So I feel like for the most part they're pretty good about it, but they are more serious about it. So that's definitely another negative to commons, and why South Tower's better.
Yeah.
And then also room checks. So you have a little paper, at least for main campus housing. It's a little paper and it has tasks on it, and it's like specifically lists out what each person is responsible for. Like they don't fill it out, you fill it out, you decide what each person is responsible for. Because that way, room checks happen every Wednesday morning and Friday morning while you're in convo. So it's like it's not like you have to like literally like wait outside your room hoping that it's gonna like while they're like going and inspecting the room. No, it's while convo's happening, one of your RAs is doing it, just making sure that your room has like a general cleanliness. It's really simple stuff. It's like keep your mirror clean, your trashes are taken out. It's not just like a massive pile of junk on your desk. Like if you've seen the other videos, you've seen a small clip of like me versus Michaela's desk organization, but like it's really not that big a deal. Like Michaela's desk is fine, and so it's like just to make sure that you're not being disgusting with your room, because it still has to be a livable space.
Yeah.
And then the reason that they have the paper posted and it's for you to see as like if let's say a trash isn't taken out or it's someone's like specific bed isn't made, or let's say because like Michaela's responsibility, the main one is sweeping the floor and my main one's having the mirrors dirty. Let's say the mirror's dirty, I'm gonna get the green slip and fine for the mirror being dirty. Michaela doesn't have to pay that penalty because of a mistake I made, because it should have been my responsibility.
All right, next thing we're going to talk about is convocation, campus community, and community groups. So you've heard us mention convo. That is every Wednesday and Friday. We have worship and a speaker at 10:30, goes till about like 11:30. It's a really fun time. Basically, you check in with your RA so they know you're there. You only get one convo skip a semester, so use it wisely. But you wouldn't really want to skip because they're really good and it's a really fun time. Next is campus community. So that is every Wednesday night at 7.
Be there. Yes. Be there.
It's a really fun time. It's similar to convo, but it's a lot more worship. Like you have like 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's extended
songs.
worship.
Yeah. And then it's more of like a sermon. So they'll have usually somebody, a divinity school professor or a LU shepherd or
a local pastor.
Like somebody come in and preach a sermon series that we're walking through. And it's a really good time just to grow in your faith. And then after that is the best part, is community groups. So that's on your hall. You'll have a community group leader. You'll have probably like 6 of those. And they're usually upperclassmen that lead groups of students in discussion about campus community message, but also about just life in general.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about campus community because technically it's optional, but for the most part everyone goes and everyone wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
which on that note, campus community is also optional. So campus community and community groups are optional, but curfew is not optional.
No, you have to be back by 10.
Alright, the next thing we're going to be going into is the grid. So Sarah mentioned it a little bit earlier. But that's basically the on-campus convenience store in the student union. You can use dining dollars there. You can purchase things like gum, chips.
I buy all my gum there.
Yeah.
Slushies?
Slushies, my favorite. You can also get like frozen dinners, sandwiches, sushi. Like they have everything.
They have like small things like batteries and like some medicines. Not Benadryl, fun fact.
Yeah, I would say their first aid section and like
isn't the best.
It's not the best.
I mean, they have like Tylenol and Advil.
Yeah, they have the necessities, But
not Benadryl.
Yeah, if you need... Benadryl.
No, me and my friends were talking about this earlier, so it's on my mind.
Yeah. So, anyways, but I would just say be aware of how much money you're spending there. Like, if you are used to, like, getting a ton of groceries and, like, you actually need groceries, maybe go to Walmart instead, because shopping there is to me a little more expensive. But you do have the dining dollars, so it's, like, it cancels out a little bit, because if you're on the plus plan especially, you're not going to be using the dining dollars as much. You're probably just going to be using it at, like, Starbucks.
Okay, meeting people. You don't need to follow everyone that's going to your school before getting there. I followed so many people on Instagram, added so many people on Snap. It's great to add a few people so you can have familiar faces with them, but it's only do that if you're the type of person that will actually reach out, like, before and after moving. Like, I'm the type, so I added a bunch of people, but even me, that type, yesterday I sat down, after, I've unfollowed a few people as I've gone along, but I just sat down and unfollowed 200 people on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I've been doing the same thing. Like, I connected with a decent amount of people on Instagram before coming here, and, like, I am not the type to just go up to somebody and be like, hey, I follow you on Instagram. Like, this was mainly before I found a roommate. I was just following a bunch of people. And I've just been unfollowing them because you don't actually talk to them, so.
Like, it's great to have a few people, but if you're reaching out, try to reach out before, and, like, you don't have to, like, constantly be talking to them because that's a lot of work, but, like, an occasional message, like, replying to their story or something helps keep that relationship so that when you get on campus and you see them, it's less awkward.
Yeah, and I would say it's good to have people to hang out with, like, the first couple days, because, like, Sarah moved in the day after me, so I just hung out with some friends that I had already made via Instagram and, like, keeping in touch the first couple days before we found, like, our...
Like, who was on our hall and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And not that, like, we don't keep in touch with, like, those people, but it's...
I definitely talk to them significantly less now that I have my actual friends.
Exactly. The next thing is about online classes. So, you cannot take any proper online classes your first year at Liberty. However, there are a few exceptions. So you can take Inquiry and Univ online. These are two gen ed classes that every freshman...
And INFT.
They're changing it. Yeah. So, anyways, you have to take these classes. They're not the most interesting classes, so definitely for Univ, take that online.
That's like... We sat in a...
For 2 hours. It's a 2-hour class if you take it.
We're gonna scream a little bit in case you couldn't tell by the landscaping that's happening outside right now.
Anyways, take Univ online. It'll be like 20 minutes of work a week instead of spending 2 hours in a classroom.
It's a 2-hour class.
Don't take it in person. Inquiry, I would say it's up to your own personal preference. Like, we both took it in person, and I don't regret taking it in person.
No, I actually loved it because my professor in specific, if you can take it with Mason, take it with Mason.
Or Corey. She's really nice.
They make it, like, at least I know for Mason, he was just like, this is a 1 credit hour class, and because you're in person, you don't have to do as much work because we have that in-class participation. Yeah. And I know that if it were up to me to do the own work, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And it's more of a research class. Like, it's the class you have to take before you take your research class. So it's kind of important that you actually learn the material. Whereas Univ, like, you already know all the stuff.
It's
so
the most.
Yeah. I would suggest you take it in person. I loved my professor so much. She was the best.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Just check the professor before and check them on Rate My Professor.
Yeah. And then there's also this thing called Sophia. You can look it up. It's like an online learning service, but you can do that to knock out a ton of your gen eds. It does not impact your GPA. It's literally pass or fail. And you pay $99 for a month, and you can knock out as many classes as you can in that month. So you can knock out math, science, comms, like all these different things that you'd be spending hundreds of dollars and like hours doing at Liberty. You can knock it out for really cheap online and save some money. So yeah, look into that.
That's great for people who are trying to like go through Liberty quick because it's an expensive school.
Yeah.
And not everyone can afford to stay here for all 4 years. So doing Sophia courses to knock some credits out of the way, definitely a good recommendation. Okay, so first, CSER. That is your Christian service requirement. It gives you no class credit, and it is no, you can't get any monetary value for it or anything. So that's to like, it's a structured thing designed to like have you serving and helping like build God's kingdom that way. And so there's lots of details about CSER online and plenty of resources for you to reach out if you have questions about it. But like I'm doing my CSER at a local church because I'm a ministry major, so that's like where my heart is. Do you have any idea where you're doing your CSER?
I'll probably be doing it through a parachurch ministry, so a ministry that goes into public schools and runs Bible studies there.
And then like there's different things that you can like serving at like local shelters. There's even on-campus CSER opportunities. So there's so many ways to do your CSER. It's like you have to be at one location. That's a big thing because they want consistency. So you have to be at one location, and it's 20 hours there
For 1 semester.
per semester. So you have 16 weeks to do it. Like that's nothing. A little over an hour a week there. That's seriously nothing. And lots of people who do their CSER at a spot that they really like just stay there, and they do extra hours there that aren't even for CSER. And then also, speaking of doing your hours somewhere, there's practicums for a few majors. I know ministry majors and counseling majors definitely have practicums. I'm not saying divinity, I'm saying ministry. Because like there's different.
It's different.
Yeah. So ministry and counseling I know have practicums. I'm not sure about other majors that may have that you'll have to check online for. It's Dr. Guguzian in charge for ministry majors, and so if you're looking to being a ministry major and you've been reading up on practicums and you're like, what? He's super easy to talk to, and he's super good at explaining if you have questions, but practicum, luckily there isn't too many details that go along with it. So you have to do it at a local church, obviously. They recommend doing it at whatever church you decide is your home, at least for that semester. Just like CSER, you have to do it at that one place because you don't have to because you have 3 different practicums. They can be at different places, but it's recommended and is best if you do them all at the same place, which is your local church. So like for me at my church, I'm doing both my CSER and my practicum there, and the practicum is 40 hours versus CSER, which is 20.
But you get class credit for practicum.
But the practicum is a class credit. So for me, how it's just gonna work is I'm gonna just spend a lot of hours there and just log them separately. So I get my CSER done and my practicum there. And so that's one way to do it. If you have practicum, try to do it somewhere you can close. Try to like double that up because it just makes it easier on yourself. And also you just get more plugged in because that's just what you're doing there. Okay.
Everything.
I think that is all we have to say. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed this series. I hope it has been helpful-ish. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed special guest Michaela. She'll probably be appearing much more often considering I live with her. I don't think I have anything else to say. Do you have any message to the world of my whole 13 viewers?
No. This girl's awesome. Keep following her.
Okay, remember, we're more than conquerors in him who loves us. Have a blessed week.